Welcome, my friends, to Vancouver International Airport. And this is day 2 of our 3-day trip to Alaska for our Alaska cruise on board the Majestic Princess. And taxiing up to gate 76 Alpha here at Vancouver is Foxtrot Sierra Kilo Zulu. It's a 4-year-old Boeing 737 MAX 8. And it was our ride to Anchorage. Unfortunately, due to an incident with a ground cart, we ended up flying on Foxtrot Sierra India Lima, another 4-year-old Boeing 737 MAX 8. Now, I know air travel can be stressful for some people, and especially if you're delayed and have to switch aircraft. Thankfully, we had a good view. We were able to see our luggage being loaded on the correct aircraft on the correct flight, which does make for a much less stressful vacation. Now, as we start to taxi out of Vancouver after our nearly 2-hour delay into the aircraft swap, that 2-hour delay did give me the opportunity to stop and say, you know what? It's last minute. Let's go up to the booking agent and see what it would cost to upgrade to business class. Well, believe it or not, for the two of us to upgrade to business class was incredibly reasonable. And we decided, you know what? Our Alaska cruise is probably a once-in-a-lifetime trip, so we went ahead and did that upgrade. Now, I've ridden in business class a couple times over the last few months and some other flights I've made, but mostly on the older Embraer aircraft. Now, the Embraer is a much smaller aircraft than the 737 MAX is, and I was not ready for the amount of legroom that was actually available in business. There's so much legroom in business class in the 737 MAX 8, they actually have a flip-down footrest on the seat in front of you for takeoff and landing. Now, I'm 6'4", and even I had a hard time stretching my feet out far enough to not require the footrest. I've sped this section of the video up because if you've seen my video on the Boeing 787 Dreamliner at Toronto Pearson, which was actually taken the day before this one, you notice I made reference of how long the taxi from the terminal out to runway 05 was at Toronto Pearson. However, that taxi's got nothing on this one. We were on the northeast corner of the airport and taxied all the way out to runway 08 right, which is the southwesternmost point of the airport. Now, looking at the ground chart, logic would say, well, why didn't we take off on 08 left? Well, I can't answer that question. It all has to do with noise and wind and weather and traffic patterns. So 08 right is just what worked properly for that day for this departure. As we line up and get ready for our takeoff roll on 08 right, I just have to apologize for the camera effect here. I shot this using my new GoPro Max 360. It's a 360 camera, however, I was using it just in a standard high definition format. And it has what it called an auto level feature. Well, not understanding that completely, auto levels the image, so when you're moving the camera around, the image doesn't change. However, what it does is it uses the G sensor in the camera to keep the image level. So as we took off, the G force causes the camera to think it's being moved around, and that's why we got this 30-degree angle going on here on the takeoff roll. Now, as you can tell by the sky above us, it wasn't long after takeoff. We were into the clouds, and like most of the flights we've taken recently, there wasn't a whole lot to see. Not being distracted by looking out the window, that gave me an opportunity to look around the cabin a little bit. Like most 737 MAX 8s, Air Canada uses a two-class cabin configuration, with business class being a 2-in-2 layout and economy being a 3-in-3. The onboard food offered on Air Canada's business class far exceeds even what they offer in their Maple Leaf lounges. Dinner today was a ravioli with a nice salad, carrot cake for dessert, all served in real dishes with a real glass and real silverware. Now, like I said, every time I seem to climb on board an airplane lately, there's nothing to see because it's just clouds everywhere. Thankfully, the 737 MAX 8's got a really nice entertainment system on board. I grabbed a first-rate movie here while we're zipping along. Just for those that are curious, yes, the seats in front of us were empty, so when I tucked the camera up there to see the forward window, there was nobody up there I was disturbing. Now, on approaching Anchorage, the skies finally did clear and we got some very majestic views of the snow-capped mountains in the distance. As we start our approach to Anchorage for landing, I'd like to say thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot more Alaska videos coming out here shortly.